Bus drivers see hundreds of faces every single week. Some are smiling, others look exhausted. Some rush aboard without looking up, while others stare out the window as if they're lost in thought. Over time, these faces stop being strangers. They become familiar, predictable, regulars. Tim Watson was the kind of driver who noticed these things. After years behind the wheel, he knew his riders by habit, who boarded early, who got off late, who always sat near the window. A few even felt like friends. Every morning there were small exchanges. "Take care, have a good day, drive safe." It was always the same routine, until one morning when it wasn't. That day began like any other. Tim drove his usual route, calm and focused, the hum of the engine blending into the rhythm of the city. Then, at one stop, a young man boarded the bus with a small boy. They weren't regulars. Tim was certain of that. The man looked to be in his mid-20s, distracted, restless. He chose a seat in the middle of the bus, gripping the child tightly, almost restraining him. The boy immediately began to cry. At first, Tim thought nothing of it. Children cry on buses all the time. Tantrums happen. But this was different. The boy's cries weren't loud, they were desperate. His eyes were wide, filled with fear, not anger, not frustration, fear. Tim tried to focus on the road, but something in his gut wouldn't let go. He caught himself glancing at the rearview mirror again and again. The man leaned close, whispering sharply, urging the boy to be quiet, to sleep. That feeling grew heavier. Then it hit him. That morning's news. A 3-year-old boy had gone missing from a library in San Francisco. Tim remembered reading the article before leaving home. He tried to recall the details, his mind racing. As a father of 2, the thought made his chest tighten. He imagined the panic, the helplessness. He needed to be sure, but he couldn't stop the bus. He couldn't confront the man, not with other passengers on board. And if this was a kidnapping, alerting the man could be disastrous. The man's body language changed. He looked tense, alert, like he might get off at any second. Time was running out. Then Tim had an idea. Keeping his voice calm, he made an announcement over the speaker. "Attention everyone, a passenger earlier reported leaving a green backpack on the bus. Before we move on, I need to quickly check." He stood, pretending it was routine, casually walking down the aisle, asking passengers to look under their seats. And when he reached the boy, Tim's heart dropped. The child was wearing a blue shirt, plaid shorts, and red Crocs, exactly as described in the report. At that moment, Tim knew. Tim returned to his seat as if nothing had happened. His hands trembled slightly, but his face stayed calm. This was no longer a suspicion, it was certainty. Still, he knew better than to act alone. The man and the boy sat in the middle of the bus, the engine loud enough to cover quiet sounds. Their eyes were fixed on the window. The boy had stopped crying, exhausted, small shoulders rising and falling with shaky breaths. With controlled movements, Tim reached for his phone. As the bus rolled forward, he made the call. He spoke softly, choosing every word carefully. He explained that a child on his bus matched the description of a missing 3-year-old. The dispatcher didn't hesitate. Instructions came quickly, firm and clear. Tim listened, heart pounding but focused. "Continue driving to the next stop," they said. "Do not alert the suspect." Police units were already moving. Every second felt longer than the last. Tim checked the mirror, no reaction. The man hadn't noticed a thing. When the bus pulled up to the next stop, officers were already waiting. Some covered the front, others sealed the back. Passengers were calmly escorted off, confusion written across their faces, but no one questioned the authority surrounding them. Then the man stood. Before he could react, officers moved in. The boy was gently pulled from his arms as the man was restrained and arrested. He struggled briefly, but it was over. The child reached out and grabbed an officer's hand. Relief washed over his face. Later, at the station, the call was made. The parents arrived in tears, overwhelmed, holding their son like they might never let go again. Tim didn't seek attention. When reporters asked him about it, he simply said, "I did what any father would do." And his message was simple. If your instincts speak, listen, because hesitation can cost everything.